Well, let's kick off, I think. Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us today on this exciting Tandem chapter with the launch of two innovative additions to the Tandem T-Slim lineup, including the Tandem T-Slim mobile app and Tandem Source software. The mobile app is all about providing the freedom and flexibility to bolus and interact with your pump from your smartphone. And finally, being able to automatically upload pump data to Tandem Source, allowing a seamless review of your data for efficient and meaningful decision making. So I'm Shell Stokes and I'm Territory Manager in Victoria. And over the next hour, myself and my colleague, Juliet Healy, Territory Manager in New South Wales, will be taking you through a brief review of some of the existing Tandem products, which are already in your hands, but we know that you're here for the new stuff. So we'll be introducing that throughout the webinar, those long-awaited new innovations. Now, we acknowledge that we've got a pretty wide audience tonight with both newcomers to T-Slim and seasoned veterans. So stick with us to the end to make sure you don't miss out on the new updates. Some housekeeping notes for this evening. Together, we will answer all of your questions. We'll be using the Q&A function from the Teams webinar dashboard, and our team behind the scenes will be responding to all of those for you. Feel free to use the reaction emojis, already a few coming through. And I'd also like to just make mention while we're here of AMSL being always trying to support you in your learning journey, helping you achieve your goals, as that's our top priority. So on the 9th of July at 7:30, our in-house credentialed diabetes educators will host a webinar for you to take a deep dive into Control IQ algorithm. Now, this will help to unlock the full potential of your Tandem T-Slim X2 insulin pump. So whether you're new to the technology or just looking at enhancing your results, please don't miss this webinar. The details will be placed in the chat tonight. So sit back, grab a cuppa. I hope you've got your Uggies on because we need them tonight. And let's get straight into it by handing over to Juliet Healy to guide us through tonight's presentation.
Thanks, Shell, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We have a fantastic session planned and we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight. So we'll be shining a light on Tandem and Dexcom. They have created an innovative glucose management solutions through nearly a decade of collaboration. And tonight we'll be looking at how the T-Slim X2 insulin pump and Dexcom G7 are a perfect pairing. Now, Shell mentioned that we do have a wide audience, so some of you might already be using the T-Slim and Dexcom G7, which is fantastic. But for those of you new to it, there is lots of information here for you as well tonight. Now, we're going to jump on in because there is one latest innovation from Tandem that we know that you're all incredibly excited to hear about tonight. Now, we will be looking at obviously the T-Slim X2 insulin pump. So we're going to be shining a light on some of those key features about the T-Slim. We'll be looking at how this pairs with the Dexcom G6 and our latest and greatest sensor, the Dexcom G7. But most importantly, we'll be here because we know a lot of you are excited to learn more about the latest innovation from Tandem. We'll be having a look at the T-Slim mobile app. This is now available in Australia and it has been for just over a month now. And this allows you to pair your pump with your compatible smartphone, bolus from that smartphone, have a discrete secondary display on your phone, and you'll also be able to do automatic uploads to the Tandem Source platform. And this is where your healthcare professionals will now view your data and it will be coming through to them automatically every hour. Now, I think given that we are very excited about the T-Slim mobile app, this is where we're going to get started tonight. No doubt you're as excited as we are about the Tandem T-Slim mobile app. But for those of you that are using T-Slim, your mind's probably racing and you're thinking, how do I access the Tandem T-Slim mobile app? Now, if you have a T-Slim that is in warranty, we have sent emails to all of you, providing you with details about this latest update. But most importantly, asking you to do a short online training. It's about 20 to 30 minutes. We need you to do this. Once you've done that, your email will register in our system and no need to wait for a certificate. We will send you out an email. Please give us time. Allow some time for our team to send this out to you. It will be an update email with instructions and an update code unique to your pump. Once you have that, you'll be able to follow those instructions, update your pump, and it will then have the functionality to pair with the T-Slim mobile app. Now, I know that's a lot of information, so our team are going to put that, publish that in the Q&A for you to see. So please, at a later date, make sure you do that training so you can update your pump and pair with the T-Slim mobile app. Now, once you've done that, you will have the functionality to do a direct mobile bolus from your phone to the pump. That means you could be out for dinner with friends and you don't have to take out your pump. You can simply glance at your phone, have a look what's happening and deliver yourself a bolus. Or you might perhaps have a teenager that doesn't want to engage with their pump whilst they're at school for the day, but now they can discreetly have a look at their phone. All their friends have their phones in their hands as well, see what's happening on the pump and deliver that bolus. So it just gives you that greater freedom and that peace of mind. It's important to note though, you don't always have to bolus off the phone just because you have the T-Slim mobile app. You can still use your pump to deliver boluses, which means that you can always have that break from the phone. You don't need it for the system to operate. Now, Tandem had a look at people who use the mobile bolus feature, and they saw that it did increase bolus usage by 22%. So in having that greater freedom, hopefully this allows you to do more of those boluses that you need. Now, when you have the T-Slim mobile app, you can decide to be as discreet as you'd like about your T-Slim insulin pump and your Dexcom sensor, because as both can be worn, your Dexcom sensor could be worn on your belly or the back of your arm for the G7. The pump can be completely tucked away, and you know that you can take out your phone. You'll be able to conveniently view your pump data. It will include your basal and bolus events, the insulin that you have on board, carbs that you've entered, your current settings, and both your pump and sensor status directly on your phone. So all of that information that you would have normally had to take your pump out to look at will now be on your phone. So it allows you that really discreet display of what's happening for you on the pump. Now, the dashboard itself is very easy to use, easy to navigate. For those of you with children, they will work it out in 2 seconds. It will have their pump battery up the top here in green. You'll see the amount of insulin that you have in your cartridge. You'll see your current Dexcom reading and where you're trending, how much insulin you have on board. This green line here is your CGM trace, so you'll be able to see your Dexcom line. What you haven't been able to see if you do use a T-Slim pump, on your pump screen, you haven't been able to see just how hard this pump is working for you. Now you'll have your insulin adjustments displayed here, bolus events and auto boluses. So that's really powerful information that will now be entirely visible to you. You can actually scroll over this dashboard and you'll be able to see the last 24 hours. I can see lots of happy and excited emojis, and I'm glad you're as excited as we are. What I particularly like about this dashboard is this time in range. So this time in range is updated every 5 minutes and it reflects the last 24 hours. So you'll always be able to see how much time you've been spending in range, so the amount of time between 3.9 and 10, and it will be updated every 5 minutes. Now that's really powerful information that hasn't been as easily accessible before. For those of you using Dexcom, you might have gone into Dexcom Clarity to see that. I did have one family recently say they really liked this time in range because it let them have that discussion with their child when he came home from school, had a look at what happened in his day, what boluses were delivered, what he could have done differently, but also a really positive way to have that conversation around his day-to-day. use of the pump and the Dexcom. Now on the other screen, you'll be able to see all your settings, but parents, rest assured, you can't actually change the settings here in your phone. You still need to go to the pump. So the key thing that you can do from the phone to the pump is bolus, but you can't change your key pump settings. Now, one thing that we are particularly excited about, I think you will all be excited about if you're using the T-Slim, and definitely our healthcare professionals are happy about, is there will now be wireless data uploads. So the pump and therapy data will be wirelessly uploaded to the Tandem Source platform in real time. If you've been using the T-Slim for a while now, you'd be used to doing manual uploads and looking at your data on Gluco, or your healthcare professionals on Gluco. No need for that anymore. You'll be going into clinic, and if you're using the T-Slim mobile app, your data will be there in front of your healthcare professional, and it will be up to the latest hour. So this is going to make a big difference. And I will talk about Tandem Source in a bit more detail later in the webinar, so please wait. We'll definitely be covering that in more detail. Now, once you have updated your pump, so you've done that short 20 to 30-minute training online and received your update instructions, you will then be able to pair your pump. So let's have a look at just how easy it is to create a T-Slim mobile app account and to pair your pump. So as you can see, it really is incredibly easy. Just make sure that you've updated your pump before you try to do so. I know it's very tempting to go into your device settings and turn on Bluetooth and mobile connection. You just won't be able to do it unless you've updated your pump. Now, once you have paired with the T-Slim mobile app, all of your data from the pump will come through. You'll see it fill through very quickly, and you're ready to go. You'll be ready to do your first bolus. So let's have a look at what it takes to bolus from the smartphone. Now, parents, just before you get too excited, you can't actually bolus unless you're 1.5 meters near the phone. So no, you cannot bolus for your child whilst they're at school and you're at work. The phone does need to be within 1.5 meters of you. But let's have a look at what it takes to bolus. So again, very easy to navigate. As soon as you've connected your pump to the T-Slim mobile app, you'll be ready to go. And it is very straightforward. Now, Shell, I'll just get you to jump in here because you and I have had the privilege of starting to see people connect with the T-Slim mobile app. And it is really exciting to see everybody's different reactions. Do you have any key standouts so far?
Oh, Juliet, those features, it's just been such an exciting presentation tonight. Certainly welcomed. You can see from the reactions and the questions, but some general feedback, just an instance of that stands out to me, a particular one where a young girl was able to wear her dream dress to her 16th birthday party without having to be concerned about accessing the pump to bolus. She was just able to easily and discreetly bolus from her phone. And this is exactly what the remote bolus feature is designed to be. There was also someone else that just said, oh, how great is it just to be able to see my basal on the phone?
Yeah, I agree, Shell. I think that's such key information now that until now people haven't seen how hard the T-Slim is working. So just to see that basal change every 5 minutes is a nice addition. And I imagine that outfit change will also come particularly handy in formal season or just when you want to wear that dress. Now, so I'm sure there's a few key questions that have come in that we might have missed, and hopefully the team are working very hard behind the scenes answering them. But do you want to jump in with some that everyone might like to hear?
A couple of questions that have come through relating to how people can get started using the app. And I think the team have been working really hard at putting that Divine checklist that's been added into the Q&A chat, along with links to check phone compatibility. So it is actually compatible with quite a number of phones, both Android and iPhone. So to check that as well. And finally,
wonderful.
Juliet,
thanks, Shell. Sorry,
no
we've
worries.
just to check, we have put that compatibility list in the Q&A, haven't we? Sorry, I did forget to mention that. Thanks, Shell.
That's okay. I've got your back. And finally, Juliet, we've had a few questions around bolusing from the phone since we played that little video. So there's one here. My child doesn't have a phone. Maybe they're too young to have a phone. Can I bolus from my phone for him? And yeah, you covered that. Thank you. Yes, pair your phone to your son's phone and you can bolus for him easily and seamlessly without even having to take your son's pump out and disturb him from playing or take him out of the playground. So, and you did mention that's 1.5 meters, which was perfect because that was asked as well. And another question we had is, do I need internet access to use mobile bolus? Good question. And the answer to that is no, you only need Bluetooth enable. The app does not require the internet connection to deliver a mobile bolus. And I'm going to throw back to you, Juliet, to continue with your presentation.
Thanks, Shell. Hopefully we will continue to keep answering those questions, so keep them coming. Now, for those of you that are using the T-Slim, you're familiar with hearing about Control-IQ, but we do know there's lots of people here that are perhaps not yet using the T-Slim or an insulin pump. So we are just going to do a brief snapshot about Control-IQ technology. And as Shell mentioned, we do have our clinical team doing an in-depth webinar of Control-IQ technology and how you might optimize this on the T-Slim on the 9th of July. So I think that'll be a fantastic option, but let's just do a quick overview. Now, when we are talking about Control-IQ technology, you might have heard this as the algorithm, the pump algorithm. Now, it is an advanced hybrid closed loop technology system. It has been designed to make life easier and keep your glucose levels in range by helping to prevent both highs and lows. And we know that the more time you can spend in range between 3.9 and 10, the better your health outcomes. So it is working very hard for you in the background so you can get on with those things that are important to you. Now, one key takeaway I want you to have from tonight is that Control-IQ technology is a predictive algorithm. It is always looking forward. It's always looking 30 minutes ahead to meet you where you are at. It is not actually helpful for it to look backwards because you might have been sick that week or you might have been highly stressed and insulin levels would have been very different in terms of what was required. So it is looking forward. Now, as it does that, it will adjust your insulin every 5 minutes. And how that looks for everyone using a T-Slim and Control-IQ technology, if you are sitting comfortably between 6.25 and 8.9, but it looks like in the next 30 minutes, you're going to drop below 6.25. It will start to decrease your basal insulin. If you're sitting just below 6.25 and it picks up that in the next 30 minutes, or you could be sitting anywhere and it picks up in the next 30 minutes, you're going to drop below 3.9. It will suspend your insulin, and it will remain suspended until it looks like in the next 30 minutes, your glucose levels on your Dexcom are going to pick back up. Now, if you're sitting and expected to stay between 6.25 and 8.9 for the next 30 minutes, it will deliver insulin at the rate that has been set by you and your healthcare professional. But as soon as it looks like in the next 30 minutes, you might rise above 8.9, it will start to increase your basal insulin. And it can do that by almost 400%. And on top of that, if it looks like in the next 30 minutes you're going to go above 10 and you haven't delivered yourself a bolus in the last hour, it can give you an auto bolus, so a larger bolus of insulin. So you can see just how hard Control-IQ technology is working for you every 5 minutes to make these adjustments. And in doing so, it's helping to prevent lows because it's decreasing or stopping your basal insulin if sensor glucose is predicted to be low. And it's helping to prevent highs by increasing your basal insulin and delivering auto boluses if sensor glucose is predicted to be high. So that's Control-IQ in a nutshell. And I'm sure our clinical team can go into it in way more detail in that webinar on 9th of July. Now, if you were to use the t:slim or if you're not familiar to it, what are some of the key features and benefits of the t:slim X2 insulin pump with Control-IQ? Well, Tandem have designed this system to simplify glucose management. It's a very user-friendly color touchscreen, which now you have the benefit of having that completely mirrored on the t:slim mobile app. Has a rechargeable battery, no need to worry about batteries, no need to do a last-minute run to the grocery store. You can simply plug it in and charge it like you would your phone. It is a very durable, robust pump. It can handle a splash or a puddle here or there. It is watertight. We just don't want you to take it swimming with you. It's a very small size, easy to fit in your pocket, in your bra, wherever you choose to wear it. You now have the benefit of having even more flexibility with how you wear that pump, because sometimes you can just keep it completely tucked away for the day and just view everything that is happening on the t:slim mobile app. Now, don't forget with the t:slim, there is that freedom to disconnect. You know better than anyone that there are moments where you just don't want to have an insulin pump on. It might be when you're jumping in a nice hot sauna or in the shower, mucking about in the swimming pool. You could be incredibly physically active, or you could have very active children playing soccer and rugby, and you don't want them to have the insulin pump connected whilst they do so, or even in those spontaneous moments with your partner. You have the freedom to take that pump off, put it safely to the side, and do those things that are important to you. You also have flexible wear locations. Unlike a one-size-only patch pump, you have so much freedom with how you wear the t:slim. You can wear it on your belt, in your pocket. You can move it at any point of the day, depending on what you're wearing or how you feel. And not only that, we do have different infusion sets. So if you're currently using an infusion set, just know that we have 4 different types. And if you did want to consider choosing a different one, you can chat to your healthcare professional. So we have a variety of infusion sets to meet your different needs. Now, we talked before about the Control-IQ algorithm. It is a very effective algorithm working incredibly hard for you in the background, making those adjustments every 5 minutes as needed. But don't forget that the t:slim is incredibly customizable to you and your lifestyle. And there's a few key features that allow you to customize it. There's the auto bolus feature. So there are moments in your day where you don't have time to engage with your pump or your diabetes, and it suits you to just know that if you are going to go above 10 in the next 30 minutes, that the pump has you covered with an auto bolus. It might be a particularly stressful work meeting. Your teenager might not want to engage during the day with their management, and you know that those auto boluses can be delivered every hour as needed. There's a sleep activity. So if you're using the T-Slim and you haven't yet set the sleep activity in your sleep schedule, please do so. The pump works incredibly hard for you overnight. It will work all night to land you gently between 6.25 and 6.7 so that you're waking up feeling rested. You haven't spent the night high and not been able to do anything about it or worried about lows. You're finally getting a good night's sleep. And hopefully, with that good night's sleep, you then have that ability to have more energy in your day, you have a better day, you might even get to do some exercise. So definitely let the pump know if you do plan on doing some exercise. This just lifts the platform of the pump. So you can set a timer and it will counteract that hypoglycemia that you can sometimes experience during aerobic exercise or after. It doesn't only have to be for exercise. You could use it for gardening, walking around a shopping centre, or if you're on a really active holiday, you can use it how you like, knowing that it's just going to lift things up for you a little bit. Now, there are days, as you know, where diabetes doesn't want to behave. No day is the same, and your insulin requirements might be significantly different. You might be whacked with a really heavy bout of the flu. You might be taking steroid injections. You might be sending your child off to camp. And rather than sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, they're now running around the bush, kayaking, swimming, etc. You can set a different personal profile to change the launching point of the Control IQ algorithm. So you can boost it up or you can decrease it with these personal profiles. So all of these features allow you to customize the T-Slim to meet your needs. And if you're not sure how to use them, please reach out to your healthcare professional and they'll be able to walk you through them. Now, in choosing the T-Slim X2 insulin pump, you have the benefit of using the Dexcom G7. Now, the latest update to the pump allows you to pair with either a G6 or a G7. You do have the freedom to choose. But if you choose G7, you know that you now have a less than 30-minute warm-up. So you put that sensor on in less than 30 minutes, your readings are starting to come through. Particularly handy if you have a child running out the door for school and you know that you've put that sensor on in less than 30 minutes, they'll start getting those readings. It's incredibly easy to use. It's a simple setup. You do a one-button insertion and it is on. Now, for those of you that weren't aware, because we still talk to some people who weren't sure, the Dexcom G7 is now subsidized by NDSS and is available for individuals living with type 1 diabetes. So if you're not yet accessing it, please talk to your healthcare professional and they'll be able to walk you through those next steps. Now, another key thing that I'm hoping people are really enjoying about the G7 is when it expires on day 10, you then still have a 12-hour grace period and you're still receiving readings so that you can change the sensor at a time that suits you. Again, really handy if in the middle of the day you have to quickly do that sensor change, or perhaps it's in the middle of the night, you don't want to wake up and change your sensor right now. You know that you can wait until the morning. So there's these few key features. As you can see, Tandem and Dexcom are continuing to innovate to make this experience easier. And the benefit of using Dexcom is that you get to also share your glucose data remotely with your friends, families, and caregivers. So more peace of mind to know how things are going. Now, I'll stop there, Shell, just in case there are any key questions around Control IQ or the T-Slim itself. So jump on in.
Thank you, Juliet. Again, I know that we've gone over some points that probably very well known to our veteran pumpers out there, but we do have some newbies on. So this is a great place to remind everyone again about that webinar on the 9th of July, where our in-house credentialed diabetes educators are going to take that deep dive into Control IQ algorithms. So we went through, Juliet beautifully went through that tonight, but to truly help you unlock the full potential of the Tandem T-Slim X2 insulin pump, please pop that 9th of July, 7:30 webinar into your diary, not to be missed. And some questions coming through that I've noticed, Juliet, has been around, can my healthcare team see my data before I go to clinic, or do I still need to upload my pump? And I believe this is exactly where you're going to take us to now.
Yes, hold that thought, Shell. Let's jump in now to Tandem Source. So, because this is very exciting, and we hope you're as excited as we are about it. So, Tandem Source is the platform where your healthcare professionals will now be able to view your data. So again, if you're used to the T-Slim, you would be used to doing manual uploads to Gluco, or perhaps not doing those manual uploads and getting hassled by people trying to follow you up to do those uploads. So gone are those days. We now have the Tandem Source platform. The ecosystem is very straightforward. As soon as you pair with the T-Slim mobile app, there will be automatic CGM and pump data sent to the Tandem cloud every hour, and that will be displayed on Tandem Source. So every hour, your data will be available to be viewed on Tandem Source. Yes, to the shock-faced emoji, this is a big update for us and T-Slim. Now, it's really easy to create a Tandem Source portal. When you sign up for the Tandem T-Slim mobile app, your login details for the mobile app will be exactly what you use for the Tandem Source account, or vice versa. If you create a Tandem Source account, you can use those login details for the T-Slim mobile app. So only one login needed for both. What is important to note is that you can't actually share your reports on the T-Slim mobile app. So we would love all of you at one stage to log into your Tandem Source account. This is where you'll be able to view and edit your account information, but you'll be able to share your reports with your clinic. And you do that in this right-hand corner. There will be a little blue circle with your initials. You'll click on that and you'll be able to share reports. You'll search in Australia and your state, and you can type in your clinic's name and you'll be able to share. So please, if you're already using the T-Slim mobile app, make sure you share reports with your healthcare professionals so that they can see how you're going with the T-Slim and Dexcom. Now, pump data, as I said, is automatically uploaded to Tandem Source via the Tandem T-Slim mobile app. But there is that option for those of you that have been on the T-Slim for a while. There's a lot of data on your pump. So if you really want to speed the process up and get all of your data on Tandem Source straight away, you can do one initial upload via Tandem Source. It's really straightforward. You log into Tandem Source, no additional software needed. You can do it online. You will click on upload your pump, plug it in, follow the instructions, and your pump will be uploaded. That will just move the data over very quickly. Moving forward, you don't need to do that anymore. You will then have all of your data pulled through by the Tandem T-Slim mobile app. But just a little hot tip there for anyone that has been on the T-Slim for a while. If you want to get that data across quickly, do that one manual upload. Now, yes, we're saying Tandem Source is for your healthcare professionals, but I think a lot of you will actually really like looking at Tandem Source for yourself, or if you're looking at your loved one or your child, because it gives you such a clear overview of how things are going. It will, in this first report, which is not surprisingly called Overview, will give you a clear snapshot. It will show you the amount of time you're spending in range for the last 2 weeks and the 2 weeks prior to that. It will show you your glucose trends very clearly. It will show how much insulin the pump is delivering on a daily basis and how many boluses you might be doing or your child might be doing in comparison to how many the pump is doing. You'll be able to see infusion set changes, so you can see just how often you're changing those infusion sets. So that snapshot will be very easy for you to digest, but obviously for your healthcare professionals as well. There's also the daily timeline, which will show very clearly what has happened on a day-to-day basis for your Dexcom and the pump. You'll be able to see all of the basal modulation, all of the boluses, what your Dexcom's been doing in relation and what your pump has been doing. Particularly handy if you've had a bad day or a good day that you want to discuss with your healthcare professional. You can give them a call because you know they will have your data in front of them. And you can say, hey, can you check out May 2nd? Not quite sure what happened. Do you have anything that we could maybe do here? So it just gives you all of that information in a really easy to read way. It's very clear to interpret. And then obviously on that third report, there will be your pump settings. So if you ever want to know where your pump settings are at, you can find them here on Tandem Source as well. So we really encourage you to jump on here, have a look. It's going to be a really great way for when you walk into clinic or when you're seeing your healthcare professional to have that meaningful conversation without having to worry about doing that upload before you walk into clinic. Now, Tandem are obviously always looking to improve the experience for people using the t:slim X2. So we're constantly asking people, how do you feel about using the pump? And in a patient survey, we had 91% of users said they trust their pump. 89% of users said their pump improved their quality of life. And that is what it's been designed to do. It is working so hard for you in the background so that you can get on with your day-to-day life and those things that really matter to you. And 89% of users said the pump reduces their diabetes burden. And hopefully, as Tandem and Dexcom continue to innovate, that will only continue to improve. Now, some things that people have said around the t:slim and Control-IQ. Control-IQ has made my life easier by decreasing the anxiety around managing my glucose. Since the day I started, my sugar levels have been balanced. I have had more energy and more confidence. We always do love to hear your feedback. So if there is anything you'd like us to know, don't hesitate to reach out and tell us what you think, especially around the t:slim mobile app. Now, for those of you that aren't yet using the t:slim, but you would really like to see what it looks like in more detail, we do have a free T-Simulator app that you can download from the App Store or Google Play. It allows you to experience a simple touchscreen interface of the t:slim X2 insulin pump. You can do that on your phone, so you can play around, deliver a bolus. So do check out that T-Simulator app if you're not yet using a t:slim. Now, for those of you here tonight that are thinking, I would really like to get started on a t:slim, but I'm not quite sure how. If you have health insurance that covers insulin pumps, you could chat to your healthcare professional, so your diabetes educator, your endocrinologist, and they'll talk you through next steps in terms of how you get started. If you don't have health insurance, or perhaps you're on a different pump, or you just want to give it a try, we do have a free 2-month trial of the t:slim X2 insulin pump. This gives you a fantastic opportunity to start on the t:slim, pair it with the Dexcom G7, try out the t:slim mobile app and see if it's for you. So please, again, if you would like to access that 2-month trial, it's very simple. Reach out to your healthcare professional, talk to your endocrinologist or your diabetes educator and let them know that you want to give it a try. Now, if you have health insurance that covers insulin pumps, but you're still waiting in your waiting period, no need to wait. We can provide you with a free, a brand new loan pump to cover you through that waiting period. So again, another fantastic opportunity to try the t:slim before you do purchase it through your health insurance. So lots of avenues for you to explore. If you would like to try the t:slim, please don't hesitate to reach out to us because we really look forward to supporting you. Now, if you choose the t:slim or Dexcom, you have AMSL diabetes supporting you on your journey. So hopefully a lot of you tonight are familiar with our support, but we are known for our 24/7 Tandem technical support. If you have a problem with the pump in the middle of the night or over the weekend or in a holiday, you can just give it a call and somebody will be there to support. We have fantastic healthcare professionals across Australia who are very confident with the t:slim and able to get you started. But alongside them, we can provide a lot of personal support and training as needed. When you purchase the t:slim X2, it is in warranty for 4 years. And you have peace of mind knowing that if anything were to happen to that pump, we can replace it with that fast delivery. And because Tandem and Dexcom never stop innovating, we will always keep you up to date with news, events, promotions, software updates like the latest one we've had. You will not get left behind with t:slim or Dexcom. Now, that is all from us tonight. So we really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Your emojis show that hopefully you are all very excited about the t:slim mobile app. Don't forget that we're always here to support you on your journey.